Always love that.
Everyone's rocking out whilst the
single
music is going, and then suddenly you want to just stop and just be normal again.
Every single time I'm trying to get that last crash, and it actually doesn't come. There isn't like a big whoosh. It's just live. Welcome to whatever the hell this is. And that's really where I want to start. What the hell is this thing that we started? Because this week it feels like a totally different thing again. It's entirely your fault, Marcus. But George, I love how when we talked about this one time, you were like, I thought this was going to be a podcast. What the hell has this show become?
Oh, yes.
Are you talking about the overall product? Are you talking about the main show? What does that become?
I'm still trying to figure out how to get it onto my iPod. I found one of my old iPods, so I'm like, it even's got GB on the background. That is fantastic. I'm obsessed with our old iPods. Anyway, what is this? What is? Yeah.
You retro kids.
Yeah, look at that snap, George.
Fucking
sick. Oh,
see, our kids are going to be like, what? So you had to have a different device to play music on? Why don't you just have it on your phone?
Do you know, I've just given my son an iPod, an old school iPod, to get past something at the school so he can actually listen to music.
Of course.
Because they're looking for a mobile phone. They're not looking for, and I'm like, here, this is old school. You'll love it. And he's just like, oh yeah. He's like, Dad, this is so cool. I've got all your old music.
That's epic.
It's good to be here, guys, and it's good to we've been looking forward to seeing each other. But it's always good to see you two. Let's do our late night radio shout outs. We have Sweden. We have
where are you guys in the world?
35,000 degrees over the US. We're
Canada.
Are we all at base for once? I think we're actually at base for once.
Yeah.
Everyone's at base. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Houston, Texas. Yeah. Absolutely love it there. Hamburg City.
Romania.
Describe your sense. I'm having a cup of tea in a rainy London. It's a beautiful rainy London night.
Sweden, South Africa, Switzerland. Hey.
Seattle.
California.
Orange County.
St. Lucia.
Adrian, have you also, you've put me on, I think you tipped me down a Pearl Jam rabbit hole for the last few weeks. So g'day to Seattle.
Rainy
Seattle's
London.
Back in my radar.
Saudi Arabia. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mexico.
Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Jeepers, Basel, man. Switzerland. Oh, Marcus. Oh,
Malaysia.
Basel.
Jesus Christ, you're up in Malaysia. I was kind of thinking,
Australia.
Hey, that's what we should do. We should when people say where they're from, we should get them to say the time as well, so we can see what the time difference is.
And just go, how the hell are you still up?
Exactly.
Oh my God, you've started your day with us?
Chicago, Paris,
Taunton.
France.
I'm coming down that way in a couple of days. That's
Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Finally made it from Melbourne. What time is it in Melbourne? I should know that. And what's everyone wearing? If you're all giving us your shout out, tell us what you're wearing as well in the comments, and let's do a quick round table, Captain.
Oh, wrong camera.
Was this the camera?
Look at that. Oh,
no.
Beautiful bouquet with the old LEDs down here. But this is my IWC Mark 20.
Were you ever tempted to get a colored dial? Because that's black, right?
So it took me ages to decide. I wanted the blue dial, the Petit Prince, is it?
The Petit Prince.
And then they brought out the kind of off-white. It's kind of like a silvery opaline white. It took me ages to decide between the two. But I decided for this, I wanted as much of that Dirty Dozen vibe as possible without having to go down the extortionate route of the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, can I just point out something? There's some amazing watches appearing. I feel like we're showing ours and talking about ours, but Jesus,
I love that
Christ,
sector dial.
And there's some amazing Seikos, all over the place. I mean, Bremont. I mean, oh my goodness. I kind of feel like, sorry, Andrew, to stop you for a second, but Jesus Christ,
proper.
I'm like.
Nice jacket, George. Andy thinks about nice jacket.
Yeah.
What's with it? What are you trying
James
to outdress us, George? You look.
He
No,
always
I've
outdresses us.
I've come from a meeting, so it was like literally I had to run in. It was like one of those things when when are we doing it? Oh my god!
Now.
Now this is one thing we have committed.
Yes, George.
Ooh, big news.
You're on it with the details.
8:00 every Wednesday, every other Wednesday. There we go. 8:00 every other Wednesday. We are committing to doing a therapy session because we've realized that we are totally inconsistent and we are absolutely useless on doing therapy sessions. So we're going to commit to this. Now, there is a Mad Green. Oh my God, I am jealous of you. I signed up for this. I signed up for it and I did not get it. This is a watch I cannot get. And most watches I can get. So
you can feel the passion there.
Whoa.
Danny, he'll be coming at you in the
Is that
DMs.
is the Mad Green? Is that the next one after the red?
Yeah.
Ah. So it's just the same, but just green.
I signed up and I was like, I want a green watch. That's anyway. I can. Seiko King Turtle. Oh my God. Yeah, that's going to be good.
But George, to finish on your point, that the last thing about us committing to the 8 p.m. on a Wednesday, the Wednesday after an episode goes live, is that cameras over here, is that there might just be one of us. It's not just going to be one of us on our own. But basically, the commitment is we will always be live the Wednesday, 8 p.m. the Wednesday after an episode goes live. And if one of us can't make it, then we will have guests standing in. And so it could be quite fun. It could be a bit of a mush of people, but that is a commitment. We're going to be consistent because we've heard your feedback lots of times.
Nico,
told off.
I think Nico, engineer, Chronomaster. Yeah, look, Rocket. I'm wearing an engineer at the moment. I'm wearing the new engineer.
Sick.
It's one of those annoying watches that gets sexier every time I see it.
I mean, it's so. And honestly, you forget about everything else when you put it on your wrist. You're just like, okay, the price, okay, the this, okay, the this, and then you put it on your wrist, and you're just like, actually, fuck it, it's so fucking cool.
Yeah,
I'm like this. I put it on my wrist, and I was like, suit, watch. I feel good.
Oh, that's a killer suit watch. Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, and you know, you kind of think about even things like Pateks and things like that on your wrist. This has just got a different flex on your wrist, and it's absolutely amazing.
It's still pretty new to market, isn't it, George? There's not that many out there. Like,
no, I'm.
Go on, flex, George. George, flex.
Yeah,
it's okay.
go on.
No, the thing is, we
are.
did an event with IWC, and I probably met too many people at IWC, and I was like, please, can I get one of these? And they were like, okay. In the most quietest voice, they were like, yes, you've got one. And I was like, but have I really? And I've been pestering and pestering and pestering. And when I came back from Asia, there was this wonderful box on my desk. And it was the most amazing little kind of gem of, you know, when you first open something, you go, oh, this feels, and it just, you know, I was concerned, and then I just went, oh my God. Black dial is absolutely amazing. I looked at the other dials. The titanium is the one that I'm holding out for. It was meant to be the end of this year. I think it's going to be next year.
So hot. I think the titanium is where the
titanium is absolutely amazing.
I can't see the titanium.
Did you see Davey J in the comments there? The Amiga SMP 300 Seaweed. After AM wore it in the episode, that I am absolutely despised for that little clip. That clip we did where I don't buy it. Like, that is the most negative PR campaign for me. I know. But still,
YouTube.
I'm glad that you bought that, and I'm sure you're happy.
El Primero, absolutely amazing. I'm honestly, Andrew and I are very lucky, and now Adrian are very, very lucky to be connected into Zenith. I know Marcus has filmed every Zenith on the sun or on this earth, but we're very lucky to even brush shoulders with Zenith because there is so many amazing watches, new and old, and it you go down this amazing rabbit hole. And Oris Williams. Bottas limited edition. That's an interesting one. Tudors. Oh well, you know.
I think this might be
Marcus.
You have to be double wristed.
Sorry, Marcus.
Look at him. You're just showing off now, Mark. You're just showing off. Look at you.
No, you know what? I never double wrist, and today
You know what?
I made the complete.
We created this monster, boys.
We
Yeah.
did.
This is just awesome. Look at that.
Nice.
That's
Well,
cool.
George, when you were just saying then, because we'll come back to you, Mark, because I expect that those
No, that's
watches
all right.
may come up once or twice in the episode. When you said before, when you get home and there's a box, I've just got back from a trip and I've just opened a box and I have new watch smell. I have everything. I have a letter from the Norcaners. So the idea, the plan here was that I bought the khaki wild one after being on a Zermatt trip, and then I had to send it back to the showroom in Australia. So because the guys in Australia wanted to do some content with it. So I'd been without a wild one for a couple of months, and I realized, sometimes it takes you not having a watch to realize what you like about it. And I missed the 78 gram factor. I missed the light, tough factor. So I just kind of lost patience waiting for the olive to come back. And I've got this Tiffany one.
That's nice, though. That's really good.
I would never have chosen it.
But it suits you. So does that replace one of the watches in your, 16 slots?
Well, I had a space freed up. No. I had a space freed up when I had to send the khaki wild one back. A space freed up. So it's kind of one for one. Norcan jumped straight in and said, "We'll take this," and I'm more than happy to take this.
That old chestnut, yeah, exactly, George. That old chestnut.
Exactly. Nice one though. You pinned me. You completely pinned me. So
now,
boys,
wait. Just one thing. Someone has just put a comment saying that they are wearing. I would be wearing the second Pepsi. Can I do something, guys?
Ooh.
Could I do something before, Andrew? Because you've just shown something, then because I know we're going to get into something.
Speaking of fresh box smell,
I have got the second edition one. That is the Pepsi. So it's another one of those things. I mean, opening it up. This is second. He is an absolute dude. Andrew is going to probably talk about him, but this is the Pepsi with the straw. It is absolutely amazing. Also, what I would say to you is I absolutely love how he's done the packaging, how he's done. I mean, even this just sounds so me.
Amazing.
I mean, like
you can hold that up on camera anytime you get bored of what we're saying.
And then I've been told I kind of have to be a little bit cryptic. This is episode 2, and episode 2 is slap. It's upside down, and I freaking love this because. And Andrew, just to kind of you and I were chatting about this earlier. Slap. Why is it slap? Because I'm not allowed to say, but you can.
I don't know why I was. I just said, am I stupid or I don't get the jokes on these ones? But now I do, because of course the Pepsi is the straw for the second hand, or is it the second hand?
Oh, I get it now.
You get it now? I didn't get
Stupid.
it. And then when it was like, when someone says, if you know, and you don't know, you just go, oh,
you either feel old or stupid.
That stings.
And what's this for?
And then this is for the Batman slap.
Oh, yeah.
Boom! Oh, yes. I love this as a watch. It's just
it's totally you. It's
what,
almost like you would do another watch with him in the near future, George. That's how it's almost like.
I hope so. But the one thing I'll say about it is the other thing. So there is two things. One of them is Timex has been so great on this. I mean, even down to reposting.
Is this an official thing? Is it an official?
Yeah, it's official.
Oh, cool.
But even like I put these up on social media. These guys sent me messages. Oh my God, I'm so pleased that you've got it. What do you think? Really. Cool. Now this is a brand that, is really doing some dynamic things. And I'm not working with them. Hello. Hi. My name's George Bamford. I want to work with you. No, but no, I'm not working with them. And it's one of those things where I just love that they did this and how they did it in such a, we talk about a brand actually caring. this is a very big brand, and they've just done something like this, and they've connected in. That for me was really, really good.
I think that's massive. They're a huge brand. Huge
Gentlemen, we have some comments. We have many comments.
Andrew,
now.
do you want to just double check your mic? I'm pretty sure it's your laptop mic, which is maybe enabled at the moment, rather than your actual handheld mic.
It's all right. He just wants to be sexy and go, hello.
Right now.
Hello, I am
everything about watches.
What are you wearing?
That's better.
Good. I want proper voice for this next bit, because we're gonna take it down a notch, George. You've come in at an 11. I love the 11 out of 10, George. It's my favorite kind. But we do have some comments that are just maybe asking us to start the show, because the live stream, the therapy session, follows on from the episode, and the idea of this crazy thing that we started live after the shows is to unpack what happened. And something happened on the weekend, and it's led to our most commented on episode within 2.5 days of being launched. And that is why many people in the comments are mentioning you, Marcus.
Yep.
And I'm going to quickly recap what, if you missed the episode, which I don't think is possible, but we did have an episode on Sunday that started out very much like a About Effing Time episode. There were stolen watches, there were trials and tribulations, and then there were a couple of twists. And I don't think we're ever going to be the same.
Yeah.
Marcus, you want to pick it up from there, because you have had a pretty busy couple of days.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Yes. Look, at the end of the day, I think what's good to kind of talk about is it's what I love about Effing Time is that there's space to go places which we wouldn't otherwise expect, or our audience expect. And we've seen that in the past in other episodes, and this was just another one of those moments. And and it's a very special moment, and the special moments are special because they're contrasted by perhaps what's kind of normal. And so this kind of really stood out and obviously resonated massively with loads of the audience out there. But it really took us all by surprise. How much people were really connected and centered in watching the episode. And I think it was, so I've spent the last 3 days trying to respond to as many comments.
Done a fine job.
Yeah. And because I do recognize that this is a kind of one-off thing. And, it's not usual for us to sort of, get this deep and heavy, but I really wanted to sort of honor you guys out there, which are, and girls who've made comments and where it's sort of struck a chord. And so it's really cool to sort of think that us here sitting talking about watches can actually, connect with people's hearts and spirits and whatever. Like, we're all human beings. That's the thing, we love these things and they're awesome. And we can talk about the technicalities and the colors and the feels and the everything like that. But at the end of the day, we're human beings talking to one another about these things. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool that there's space for us to go into these areas and places. And I'm really just encouraged to sort of see how, there's so many people who are, it's stirred something, that they perhaps want to start changing or, sorting their lives out a little bit, or at least just at the very least, just going, how dare you start, like I started watching this episode, expecting one thing and now I'm sitting here cooking dinner in tears.
I think if we had $1 for every I'm not crying, you're crying, we'd have at least $50.
Yeah.
But look, I thought it might be interesting for people to hear about the backstory and the context of that episode, because I'm not going to lie, as that got closer and closer to being our next episode, I got more and more nervous. And the night before that shoot, I was basically, I was just on edge, because we've never really had something with Dark Secrets. We didn't pre-talk it, so we didn't know what everyone was going to say about that.
And there's no anticipation. We were going in blind to that, and so there was no, oh, how is this going to play out? Whereas we had a feeling about this, and Andrew, you knew so much more than I and perhaps George.
Oh,
but yeah, there was certainly anticipation around this.
How much did you know, George? Like, because watching your expressions, it looked very raw.
No, honestly, my kind of I knew about the other Tudor watch because Marcus had kind of secretly been saying to me, "Hey, you know, can you do this, and can you get the watchmakers to, you know, I'm going to say," and that's all I knew. It was like, "Hey, I've had my watch stolen. I've got one coming. Do you mind?" And I was just like, "Oh yeah, don't worry. The guys will look at it. It's fine. I'm shit. You lost your watch. I'm so sorry for you, but I didn't know any of, I was a bit like, oh, okay, and then you dropped all of this, and I was like, fucking hell. It's like, where did this come from?
And it also kind of highlights how much Marcus doesn't not want the camera on him, but the focus isn't him, because all of this story was so closely tied to the timeline of About Effing Time. Yet at no point was this guys sitting around a table, shit, I've just had my watch stolen, or I've reordered a watch. Guys, did you know this? I've ordered a watch twice now. This is going to be the third time I've just ordered a watch. There was never that. It was, hey George, do you mind if I have this watch delivered to the office?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It was nothing. It was very, very relaxed. It was
so it was. I felt so stupid when the story came out that it was so closely tied to About Effing Time. Yet I had not patched any of these stories together.
And by the end of the story, Adrian, you were implicated. George, you were implicated. Obviously,
that's true. Yeah,
it was really quite amazing how, and I think if you'll allow me to be sentimental and affectionate for a moment, which is a weird space, but
please, Andrew.
It just made me realize that this ride that we've been on has, like, that whole story took place within the span of about the time we've known each other.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? That yes, Marcus and I talk about the time before, but it started on the About Effing Time ride, and it's just sort of going parallel with this ride that we're on too. So I guess, as you said, Marcus, our humanity occasionally it just interrupts the show, doesn't it?
Yeah. It was really crazy. I think it didn't even occur to me too much about the timeline until I was actually even telling the story about when that watch was stolen. And then it's funny because in the edit, when I cut that shot in, when I talked about, okay, so I was sitting over there on a road case, with this dark cloud on me, it was so weird to even look at that footage and just like, oh, wow, I'm back there. That's just so
And you
horrible.
didn't tell us, like, as you said, Adrian, like, we didn't know that Marcus was sitting there with all this going on in his head. I mean, I knew more than you guys, but still, Marcus hit it so well and was such a pro that, yeah, you would never have known.
Well, what amazes me is that, I don't know if you guys can remember, but we shot the attempt at the comedic intro, the comedic trailer, at the end of the recording. So we'd been recording for 2 or 3 days, and we shot that, and we were dead. We were done. And Marcus was the only. Well, I'll speak for myself. I would have given up on doing that if it wasn't for Marcus saying, right, let's do this. We're going to do that. We're going to get this shot right. One more take, one more try. Right, do this, that. I was done. I was riding on the back of Marcus and doing what was needed to be done. Yet he was the one in the shitty headspace, which blows my mind. That's
you know what, Adrian? It's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember that moment, and and I remember how hard that was. It was so hard, and I remember even because I was rinsed as well. I was so just exhausted from just 2 days flat out of shooting and setting up and all of this kind of stuff. And I remember my brain just going blah, blah, and just like, I can't. Come on, man! Think of an idea. Think of something.
Just to remind people, this wasn't like just a funny comedic. Oh, haha! We had this crazy sort of what's his name?
Try and bring it up.
Yeah, it'd be so funny to watch that again. I have not watched that for ages.
How wild would that be, man?
Because what's it called? Christopher Guest. It's like Best in Show, Spinal Tap, A Mighty Wind. We wanted to do something where
Yeah,
Like,
I remember that, and you just annoyed the fuck out of me. You were like, "Come on, George, stay," and I was like,
No.
"Just leave me alone. I'm done. Fuck
Yeah.
no."
I still remember your last line, George. You're like, and they're cheap.
I was like, "Fucking hell!" That was just so like.
So
Yeah.
it was very ambitious because
It must be on our channel. It must be the first video on
No,
our
I'm
channel.
getting it. I've nearly got it. Nearly got
It
it.
would be so
Yeah.
funny to look back on. God, that's a while back now.
That is a wild, like, yeah. But that isn't that interesting that Adrian remembered that. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that was fucking hard, man. Wow. Okay.
So Marcus, tell me about the show itself, because like I was saying that I had a sleepless night the night before, thinking we're not going to
give me 2 seconds. I just want to show this because this.
Yeah. Do it.
This I don't know if the sound's going to come through.
Can we get the sound
Is
up?
that sound coming through?
No.
But maybe you have to tell it though.
Damn.
You know, like
Okay, so
you have to. Sort
so
of,
basically, it was these little talking bits which we did right at the end of all the shooting. We were completely done.
It's got like
and it was all
700 views.
that is everyone must watch this and increase the view count on that, please.
Look at that fat
It's
bastard.
really good. Okay.
That's a pre-Ritalin, Adrian.
Oh,
That
and it's
is-
headphones as well.
Headphones as well. So all of this, we were all done. We'd been talking for about 16 hours straight and just knackered.
Oh, I remember that wall as well.
Oh man.
Oh,
Fun
happy
times.
days. And when we actually kitted out the background afterwards and got rid of the headphones, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
those days when we thought it was a podcast.
Well, that's why I started by saying, what even is this anymore? Because after the last episode, it's been a totally different thing again. But tell me, how did you feel that day, Marcus? Because I'm not going to tell the other boys, but after that episode, I said, what the hell, dude? You were so prepared to just go bang. So what did you do to be able to you didn't miss a beat? It was pure steel.
Look, I knew that this was a pretty significant story and one to get right in my head first. So I wrote everything out. I think on the train from Amsterdam to London. So it's about a 3.5 hour ride. And I reckon I spent most of it writing this story. So it was way more details. But I knew that so long as I write it, then it's going to be banked in the head. And then I'm going to have it all accessible. And I knew that Andrew, that you were hosting the episode and that you're so intrinsically linked to the story that I was just like, no, this is going to be fine. Even if I waver a little bit, I'm sure Andrew will be able to, just bounce me here or there. So yeah, it was well prepared. So I at least knew the notes that I needed to hit. Because I wanted to really get it right, because I knew that it is a significant story. And, there you go. There's my little token. Yeah.
Is that the year?
Can you talk through these? I know nothing about these
is-
tokens. Can
so-
you explain what that is and what it
And
represents?
going on as well. I'd love to tokens and then also what's happening next.
Yeah. So
Even
this
though-
is a token from AA, and this is my 1 year token. It's wanting to focus on my eyes. That's how clever the camera is. Okay. Anyway, and look, the more you go to AA,
That's a big deal, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And they have these little milestone moments where you can get a token, and you know what? The token's just like a watch. It's just a thing. It's just a piece of metal, but it's what it means. Mm-hmm. So really that's what that is. So it's very special to me. And so as far as my process of recovery and going to AA and just deep diving, I think I said in the episode, just deep diving into lots and lots, listening to lots of people's recovery stories, that was just infinitely helpful. And obviously having a sponsor and working through the steps and reading through the material. Look, for some people, AA's not where they want to be, and maybe they're not quite ready for it, or it doesn't resonate with them or whatever. And I remember for me walking into AA for the first day, it was like I was on a movie set. That's the best way to describe it.
It's like Fight Club, right? It's Fight Club where the guy goes to AA to pick up.
Like that, man. It was like walking up this old building in Amsterdam, up these stairs, and you're hearing lots of chit chatter up the stairs, and you're like, "What am I doing, man? This is just wild."
Was that scary? Like the first one?
Yeah.
Do you remember the first one?
Absolutely, because it was. I didn't know what to expect But then when I saw it, I'm like, I've seen this in so many movies. And of course, people, many of them who are regulars, they'll notice that you're new, and some people will, you know, say hi and whatever, and of course that can be a little disconcerting. But what's great about an AA meeting is you don't need to share, you don't need to say anything, even if you're new. Like they'll always ask, you know, who's new today, who's never been before, or who's visiting or whatnot. And it's okay. You can raise your hand and say, I'm new. And then they'll ask you, would you want to share? And for the first few times I went there, I'm like, no, I don't want to share. And they're like, that's totally cool. So just enjoy, have a cup of tea, have a coffee, have a biscuit. And if you want to talk to people afterwards or whatever, you can. Or if you want to just jet, you can. That's fine. And so I think the first few times I just jet.
And is it a weekly thing?
Yeah, you can go every day if you want.
Oh, right. Oh, cool. Okay.
Marcus, tell me, because, you know, it's something that is kind of a juxtaposition on certain lifestyles, all these different things. But how is it, like you said, you got a sponsor? What was the, you know, was it you met? Because you know, as soon as Andrew said Fight Club, I'm thinking to myself, that coffee in the hand, the Danish, and I'm like going, okay, I'm thinking like Fight Club, and I'm like going, so everyone's going to look at me in a weird. What is it inviting? How did you?
What's the vibe? It's a good question.
How did you get this
What's the
kind
atmosphere?
of sponsor? What?
Yeah,
you know, sorry to kind of delve into it, but I just want to know a little bit more.
Yeah. I think that's a good question. And look, I've heard plenty of stories of people who have gone to AA and they've tried a meeting here and then there and then there, and like it's just felt a bit weird or it didn't fit or whatever, and then all of a sudden they land in one particular meeting and they're like, this works for me, this is where I'm going to stay. So in that sense, it did fit for me. It was quite a large group, probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 people.
Wow.
Maybe. Yeah. And what's remarkable is the kaleidoscope of people. It's by no means, I don't know, weird homeless people or some stereotype, if you want to sort of think of it like that.
So was there decent watch spotting, Marcus?
You know what? I wasn't watch spotting, but I'm sure if I did, I'm sure you would spot some. There's people from all walks, like, really
create a new subgroup here, like a new sort of Venn overlap.
Yeah,
but it's a community build type thing.
Totally. And so
it's about community support.
Yep. So it's a place, and what's great about it is because obviously it's Alcoholics Anonymous, so meaning anything which gets said in that room stays in that room. So it's not to be shared here and there and everywhere and whatever. So that's the beauty of it. And so therefore, I think when people from all walks of life and all socioeconomic kind of backgrounds and whatnot come together, they're all there for the same reason. And so there's a camaraderie and an acceptance of whoever you are, and an acceptance of like, hey, you're battling the same demons I am, you know, but maybe you're not as well off as me or whatever, or smart, but
that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Marcus, the other question is, you talked about a sponsor. Is this an existing friend, or is this a new friend from the group?
No, it was from the AA. From the group.
Okay. So
what they do is in a meeting, they'll actually have a moment where they ask everyone in the group of like, hands up anyone who's prepared to be a sponsor. So lots of the regulars who are there, they will put their hands up. And at that moment, if you're new in the group, you can identify, that person said they're willing to be a sponsor, that person. Then there's an opportunity for you to go and either approach them, or because they know that if you're new or whatever, they'll probably also come and ask you. I mean, the first thing they do is they're like, dude, do you want to swap numbers? You know, you can call me anytime. Like, but many people in the group will do that because they all understand the importance of, you know, the support that you need. So it's in that moment, that's how you connect with a sponsor. And so sometimes you might connect with a sponsor and that doesn't really feel right or whatever. And that's okay. You can just sort of give it a try and move on and whatever. But the point is you've got then at that moment, someone that is not going to judge you and is going to, you know, love and accept you no matter what, hear your story. Yeah. And again, like I said, not judge. And that's the beautiful part about it, is I just didn't feel judged, which was great.
After you told all of this, all of us opened up to you with our own personal little stories and all these things. But let's talk about these steps, because there's some steps you have to go through to be in, that you have to kind of change your perspective. The step with your family and bringing them into the community, how was that? Was that quite a
well? I didn't bring my family into it. You could if you wanted to. There's
like family days, or there's a family meeting.
There's a day. There are specific meetings where it's okay that you can come and be an observer or a supporter. But then there's definitely days where it's just like
support network.
Yeah. These days are not for
and
participants.
And your wife, you don't feel you would, or you may not. I'm just asking.
No, it wasn't ever something that I'm very open. I've just shared this story with the freaking world.
I'm kind of like, are you open? I'm like, yeah, we kind of, but you weren't when you were going through it. This is the interesting thing is when you were going through this, you weren't open, and now, and it's almost like the person that's, I don't know, gone through some of the worst disasters in their life, and then afterwards they tell it, not when they're going through it. And that's something.
Yeah, but that's about being in a safe space, and I think that when I think about when we recorded that episode, and like what we have said, I can't remember when we said it, maybe on the last therapy session or whatever, but I really came out of season 4 going, man, that was the best I've ever felt with these guys. Really,
there was definitely a turning point with that season. It felt like we'd found all of our gears just suddenly aligned, and that all the cogs were working in the same way, and it felt something changed in that season.
Let's be honest then. Let's go even deeper on this, because I suppose if you've been watching About a Fin Time since the start, you would have seen us go through. You probably don't need us to tell you that it hasn't always been easy, and that we've struggled sometimes to find that rhythm. We've struggled to know what's next. What are we here for? What are we doing this for? But somehow, by the time we started the last season, we were through it all, and it just felt like we were there just to hang out with each other. And George, you sent a message to the group today, and you said, "I can't wait to see you all."
And we got the sales up in the sales.
But it was also just like we just wanted to hang out with each other. And before this show today, everyone was like, "I can't wait to see you all." And as you said, Marcus, that just becomes that's such a easy space to be vulnerable in.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what, like, so there's two sections here. So there's first the hive and the safe space when we're recording the episode, and of course it's not live.
And you're the master editor as well.
Yeah, and then I'm editing the episode.
I'm always worrying. I'm like going, oh my God. I was sending back notes to Marcus saying, hey, can you take this bit out? I'm scared about this. Oh my. Yeah.
I hate him having all control.
Yeah, but dude, but then it was sort of funny because as soon as we sort of went, okay, cool, episode started, there's this realization of like, oh, wow, thousands of people are going to listen to this. And
dude, this is what I mean about the steal though, Marcus, because like I wondered how this was going to play out, and I was stressed to all hell about it because I thought that if you wavered, then the whole thing was going to collapse. But you just came in with such steel, and you were clearly just prepared and ready, and you didn't have any of those moments during that delivery. You did though. Let's continue this openness. The night before it launched, we had a little chit chat, and I think that's when something hit home for you, that this was no turning back, and that it was all about to drop. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. The night before,
a few days ago,
episode dropped.
Yeah, that's when you were way more nervous than you were when you did it.
Heaps more. Just knowing, okay, when you click this button, that's it. It's out there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens. So yeah, but I think like by that stage, it's kind of like, you know what, I because I'm a skydiver, so and it's that moment of, you know, when you're first on the edge of the plane and you're about to jump and you're just shitting bricks. But once you jump, then that's it. Then you've got the choice of like, do I keep shitting bricks while I'm flying through the air, or do you just embrace this drop? And that's what
I'd be
it
sitting
like.
on the loo going, all the way down.
It's just like, yeah.
Marcus, just one thing I just wanted to get back. There's someone that has asked a question, and I'm going to really get your name wrong, so I'm really sorry about this. Do you and the sponsor also act as guardrails for each other, watching each other's back and supporting primarily each other?
Yeah.
That for me is an awesome question, because you're the one that probably will be out. And I'm sorry that I cannot pronounce your name. So I'm not, everyone says I pronounce everyone's name wrong. So I've now
Maybe
kind of given up.
A kint or a chint. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, look, you do act as guardrails, but it is kind of on you to connect and communicate with your sponsor in times of need. Because I mean, obviously they'll touch base with you and see how you're going. But, you know, if you're in a moment of wavering, well, then that's usually when you're going to reach out to your sponsor and just go, dude, I need to talk now, or can we get together, or
like,
whatever.
Here's an SOS, I need you now.
Yep. But then what's great is also about AA is you've typically got a quite a lot of numbers. Like, people are very keen to be helpful, and actually I think that's where the motivation for doing this episode's come from. This is kind of like my way, in a more global way, of doing the same thing, of going, okay, well, how can I turn what I've learned and put that out there and maybe be a help just by telling this story. So whilst I'm not, you know, advocating to be a virtual sponsor to everyone, that's not going to happen. It is, there's something about the you know, turning it around into service, like your resolve to change your life, and so that's kind of what that is. I feel like it's my role and duty to tell my story, and it's funny because when I go to parties and weddings where people are just getting smashed, what's really interesting is that I'm finding in today's day and age, it's really well respected when people learn that you don't drink, but it's usually the moment where they respect you is when they go, oh, you know, they'll offer you a drink and you would be like, no, it's okay, I don't drink. And they're like, oh, really? Why? And you're like, yeah, I had a problem. And then the second they hear that, they're like, complete respect.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And you're driving.
Point.
Yeah.
And that's a really interesting point, because I'd say it's become such commonplace that there isn't even a follow-up question that I don't drink. It's like, all right. But it's just that it just is what it is. So that's I haven't thought about that, but that's a really interesting observation.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people which are choosing not to drink these days, not even because they had a problem. They're just like,
no. But that's my point, is that it's not good for you.
Marcus, can I just kind of bring this to a community that I just want to kind of connect into the community. Andrew, I'm sorry to jump across, but I love
the latest
this
comment from Dave J.
I love this idea of the building of a community that is about supportiveness. And I always think about certain watch communities, and you want to have that community that builds around you, you know, and pats on the back, supportive. And I think, and I'm hoping that people may agree or may not agree, but I feel like this is I feel like it's a safe space. You know, if we had a meetup, and let's say we're going to do a meetup before Christmas, and we are going to do a meetup before Christmas, we want a safe space. Yes, security wise, but safe space for everyone to just talk about watches. Bring anything that makes you happy. Bring something that's, you know, bring a Mudman, bring any watch, and just chat and enjoy. And I think and I'm sorry to kind of jump from the AA community, but I feel that's one of these kind of support things. We all feel the support. We feel, I mean, Marcus, you've been in the comments for the last, you know, 2 days or 3 days, and you see the love oozing on these pages. I mean, like the scripts that people have written, the pages of things, and that is about community support. I'm hoping that people feel the same. And if you don't feel the same, you've got a hand on your back from us, and you're whatever you need, we're supporting.
Yeah. You know what, George? That actually, it's funny because I have read every single comment, every single one. And Andrew and I were talking about this, and we're talking about the role of podcasts these days, and the effect that has in people's kind of just everyday lives. And it is a space and a place to find a sense of belonging. And I feel that when you read the comments in this last episode, you can really see people are genuinely feeling that space and going, I love it here. I feel like I'm around the same table. This is just wonderful and great and transparent and human and da-da-da-da-da. And so, but I think even regardless of this episode of where we've gone into a pretty deep space, I think that we're all getting that from all of the other episodes, which are full of fun, laughter, frivolity, everyone poking each other and prodding each other, all in good, but just all love. It's like that the saying I think that we came up with after season 2 was love, respect, and fuck you.
Yeah,
which is like,
I still love it. It's the best tea towel waiting to happen.
Fantastic.
It's such a good idea.
Yeah, but I think that's what I really gathered
I've
from
been trying to design it. You can't do it. We did it justice, and then we didn't do it justice, and I keep on trying to get it right, and it's just like,
maybe the tea towel's the answer.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just thinking like a big towel that literally you put around yourself and wipe your ass with. It'd be perfect.
But it's really good. But what I also, another massive resonator in this episode, which came across, is like people were just picking up on the friendship side of things. And that's just awesome, man. Like, so yes, this story was really intrinsically me and Andrew tied together in this. And of course you hear these kind of stories and you think about your own mates, you think about your own situation, and whether that be, oh, I'm so grateful for my friends. I mean, friends are everything. Friends are what you need, man. Sometimes friends are going to be there for you when your family ain't. So, this is
you can choose your friends.
Yeah, you can choose your friends, but it's pretty wild and a wonderful journey that we're all on with building this community that we're doing. And we're not even freaking building a community. We just are a community. And it's kind of like, if you want to come along, then you're welcome,
But have we ever had a week, boys, where it's been so clear that there is that community? Because I've just, honestly, I felt like I've been on a cloud since the show launched, just because, you know what I mean, boys? Like, the sheer volume of love, I mean, it's just one of these things. It just obviously comes back, it's a boomerang. But Marcus, you just created this tsunami of good feelings, and it did make me think that I just don't think that we could have had an episode like that if we hadn't got to this place of love and friendship. There's a lot 100%. More love than there is fuck you. The first few seasons have had different degrees of love, respect, and fuck you.
It's true. Yeah,
but it's definitely
it hasn't all been smooth sailing. No. Just so everyone knows. But that's life. That's life. You have a choice. Do you push through or do you run away?
But I feel like we've all grown.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
If you just played, I mean, Adrian, you played that first episode, and I thought, what we know now from what we knew then. Now, the other thing is, I look back at the past and I regret nothing, but because I'm sitting here chatting to you today, that has taken me to where I stand today. But the thing is, what you knew then to what you know now. You think about the advice that we ask each other. The advice that we even ask from in this community, the connections that we have. It really is this, Marcus, I don't think, what are we, season 4?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think you would have shared that in season 1. You wouldn't have been in a year sobriety token that is, there's a coin. you would not have been in this place. So the thing is that what we know now, the hands on the back, someone described something that it's a hand on the back and a kick up the arse is only a few inches apart. But the thing is, we've done this to each other. We've, whenever as a community, but we've also been called out for not being reliable on doing therapy sessions. We've been called out for things where we need to be.
Yeah. It's really true. It's really true. Yeah.
And what about all these people agitating for Marcus to join the Four? Like that's been a big resounding, at least be in every therapy session, Marcus. Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think I am in.
You kind of already are.
You are.
Yeah. Look, I think it's, honestly,
people want a redesigned logo.
You know what? This is a really interesting thing about being, because I'm a director, so I direct all kinds of things. And whilst I'm not in front of the camera, my word, I'm in the end product because of how I'm doing things from behind the scenes and things like that, and doing the edit and carving the story and everything like that. So, yeah, it's like
Andrew, do you remember when he was sitting there and Darren was just like, help, what the fuck do I do? And Marcus was like, this, touch this. It was just Darren was just like, oh my God, I'm on the,
It's like, but he was suddenly, in a Andrew, space shuttle with no idea.
Marcus would be like, put all the screens in front of me so I can see everything.
Oh, dude, I was very nervous for the technicalities.
You were like going, what? I was sitting next to Darren, and I was almost touching the buttons because he was like, I'm scared of touching this. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was really nervous. I got to be honest. I was just like, holy shit, there's so much that can go wrong here with 5 cameras and audio and lighting and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Oh, and the battery's gone on this. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. The overhead camera's gone.
Yeah. But I mean, actually, someone just asked me how the Pelagos is going. Yeah, just so, it is absolutely. Let me take this off because, as you all saw at the end of the episode, these guys absolutely sideswiped me. That was the biggest surprise I've ever had in my life. I've never had, like no surprise party or anything like that. So to have that experience, that also felt like a movie. I'm like, holy crap. And
wasn't planned. Was not planned.
No
one.
No warning.
No one would believe that was planned because you could
cover my eyes.
You can't fake that. Marcus's reaction was just...
his reaction was
And George, you dropping that one for each son. Oh my!
Okay, now that's something I want to ask before the end of this session because I know it's now.
That hit me right here.
Tell me how. Explain to everyone because they've only seen up to that episode. What's now happened? You've gone back home.
Yeah,
you've
good
gone,
question.
Hey, I'm double wristing it. What the hell? We want to know everything.
Yeah, first thing
I came home and went, oh.
First thing I got my youngest boy and I'm like, come here. And he's like, what? I'm like, guess what? He's like, what? I've got your watch. And he's like, yeah?
Dude.
And I'm like,
did he say, I thought I was getting the wooden one, Daddy?
No.
That was broken already.
Yeah, it was great. It was great because he's known because my youngest knows that this one's going to my oldest. And he's always been asking me, this is like, so Daddy, when are you going to get the one you're going to give to me? I mean, I've got other watches, of course, but I've already told him, like, no, these aren't the ones. You're not going to get any of these ones. They're not. It's not what I've got in mind for you. So this was a beautiful moment to be able to sort of show it. And so that's the beginning of him now seeing this and playing with the bezel, which actually is the bezel. The bezel.
Actually, before you say anything, Marcus, Adrian, just... let's see if we can rate him here. Can you do your best Adrian Buck and Jack, Andrew Time and Tide imitation and review both watches for us right now?
Let me see.
Okay. Start with Adrian. Adrian.
Please do Andrew because Adrian will be so boring. It'll be like,
but I sort of feel like I need to get the camera and then start walking with it. Here we are. I mean, I'm just walking along here. It's good.
Oh, there's a bear coming here.
Look at that. Yep.
You need to miss a flight connection in an airport or something.
Yeah. If you like this video, if you like the style of the video, if you like give us a like, give us a thumbs up, give us a yeah, it's good. Actually, Adrian, I really enjoyed your last one. Your Hamilton khaki in Canada. That was beautiful, man. It's really well done.
Thanks, mate. That was an absolute pain in the ass to edit. That was like three different
but
cameras.
You can see it. You can
and
see
the lighting is the colors are all over the place because of all the you've got the
changing temperatures and colors.
Yeah, changing temperatures and oh dear, pain in the ass.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah,
Andrew, go and do an Andrew.
So an Andrew. Okay.
Like interpretate his trip that he's just done out to LA for about 10 minutes and then flying back for the watch launch, but do it on the Tudor instead of what he's been talking about.
Yeah, he'd be like
sweating.
We are here.
wait. Do the guns.
We are here, and it's going to be
take
we
it
are
off.
here.
Yeah.
My name is Andrew.
My name is Andrew.
Yeah.
Not enough abs.
Yeah. No, that's right, man. Jeepers, man. I'd love to do a parody.
You could do it with your eyes closed.
If I worked on it and thought about it, I could do it something amazing. Especially, I reckon I could. Yeah, Adrian, I think would be easier to parody because he's got more. He's got more
quirks.
More quirks. So
also, you just have to describe things as being cool and everything's awesome, and then that's
also stop mid sentence. So let
the ADHD kick in. And there's a bird over there.
The thing that I really like about this, but then who cares, you know? And his coffee is
and their website shit as well. Who makes a website like this?
Exactly.
I mean, what are they doing? I mean, he's setting. Just so everyone knows, Adrian is setting up a website business advice bureau.
I really should.
By the way, Adrian has about 2.5 times more followers than Time and Tide on YouTube. So whatever he's doing, it works. So
look, Adrian, you need the gun show from Andrew, and then you'll be like, you know.
And you know what?
Guns don't rape, man.
And maybe I've said it before, but because when I first met Adrian, when we first did our first video,
you were starstruck.
You did not. Yeah.
You know what?
I've interviewed all kinds of celebrities and sports stars and and it's just like, it's just work.
I was disgusted with you that day.
I was just like, this is Adrian Barker. I'm putting a microphone on Adrian Barker. Like, this is weird.
Oh, dude, you're gonna make me blush now.
But
this is what I'm like whenever I meet James Stacey. Still, I was sat on a beach in Florida on a Tudor event. Andrew was there. I felt like I had my boys with me. I had support, and I was still acting like a little fangirl. James Stacey.
James, I hope you're listening. But I was like trying to facilitate this date, and it was fucking impossible.
I couldn't. I kept thinking it felt like a date. It felt like a date with the hottest girl I possibly could pull, and I couldn't think of any conversation to build up. I did
not advance that relationship. Give him another shot, James. I reckon there's just one more shot in him because
you know what though. Someone did just mention about the skull thing, but the one thing I do want, and it doesn't have to have my skull in it, but I wear hats every day. I've got about 20 hats.
We're on it.
It's got something like that.
Can I on that note?
Marcus is always going on about this.
Okay, Marcus. On that note, sorry, Andrew, Marcus, Adrian, all of you. I'm going to say to you is,
tea towels and hats. It's on it. Can I just point out, like most people that wear hats, and I say 99% have either shit hair, rapidly disappearing hair, or no hair. And Marcus has hair,
a full head of hair.
James Dean would be jealous
you need
of.
To get that, yeah.
He's got a 1950s Elvis.
I should be wearing a cap.
I should shave my head. He wears a hat. It's absurd. That's the only thing about you that I would change, Marcus. Get that fucking hat off.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's something about it. I just like it. I don't know. It makes me feel
right, guys. We're starting to give sartorial advice now to each other. I feel like
feels like the live stream should end.
Look,
well, a lot of people have wanted this to be 3 hours, Rogan style. I would have to do that once. We'll do a
no. Look, I would say so. Just on the hats, I have had something in the region of about 30 different caps in my business at the moment. trying to figure out what is the best comfortable cap. Everyone
is
is like
hard.
new era, this.
Yeah.
We've gone through everything, and each one of them is not up to where it should be. So for me, where I'm saying to you is it needs to be right, and we're not going to do it half-assed. And
George, can we have it done by Christmas? Like, I actually mean that, because
what about if it's just a prototype?
If Adrian does NATO straps, then yes.
Oh my god!
I'll get caps ready for that.
I've got a string.
I've got cap makers, but yeah. Okay. Well, we'll do it.
Mate, I would probably buy all of the caps.
No. But the other thing, Marcus, where do we go if we need support? If you're going through crap, if life comes and hits you and slaps you and whatever you're doing, because I watched recently. There was a program and it was all about drugs and things, and this person spiraled so badly that it keeps on giving me nightmares. What are those what are the things that you would go, help, I need something?
Yeah, well, depending on which country you're in, it's going to be different. But Alcoholics Anonymous is very global, and there's websites. There will be definitely a website in your like a main one, and then you can go to your country specific one, and then it will list. There'll be a list of all of the meetings and the times, and whether it's an open meeting or a closed meeting or what type of meeting, because there's all different types of meetings that you can go to, which is kind of cool. But yeah, for me, it was I hunted, found the website, and then I found some phone numbers. I called the number and got an answer almost immediately, which was crazy, because they usually there'll be someone always who's ready to
line. Wow.
Yep. And then they're like, cool, where are you
on it? It's like it creates the addictions, and it also helps you get over them.
Yeah, well, it's a great cycle. So then that was super helpful. And so having someone to talk to you immediately on the phone, and it wasn't just to like give you some information. It was like, are you okay? Do you need to talk to someone right now or whatever? Or otherwise, okay, meeting's there. And then they explain, right, this is how it'll work. You go and you don't feel like you need to do this or that or da. So that was really helpful. I felt like I already had a good brief on the phone before I rolled up to the meeting. And even when I rolled up to the meeting, there was no one I was specifically meeting. So that's the kind of daunting part about it, because you sort of feel like, oh shit, like
what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Bye.
But then you once you then realize, I don't actually need to talk to anyone, period, if I don't want to, then that's really cool, because then you can just observe, and everyone's fine with you just observing if that's what you want to do, if that's where you're comfortable.
And what about family and friends? I know that maybe not your drinking group, but what I'm asking is more, the support from family, because for them recovery is a very good thing. So I know that probably you could go back to your family and it could damage, but is there a way of kind of I don't know, giving that did you feel that support? I know that you do, but that support from family, was that something that you did, or was this just, I'm going to do this on my own?
Yeah, well, do you know what? Because I live in Amsterdam and I'm an expat and I don't have family here, and neither does my wife. Yeah, I've just got friends, and actually, but I've got really, really close neighbors. So all my neighbors that I share walls with and whatever, and that was actually the strange thing, because we really had a heavy, like my idea always was, because on a weekend, or if the weather's good, and in Amsterdam, of course, everyone wants to just go outside, and if it's a weekend, it's just like, right, I'm going inside. I'm going to get all the fuel that I need to be able to get this party going. And I'd just be giving people beers and giving people wine and all of this kind of stuff and bringing the music out. And mate, for the neighbors, it was kind of good, because I would actually create a vibe and a party. And that's the thing. I wouldn't go blackout drunk every time I drink, but I would a lot, but not every time. So a lot of their experience of me wasn't super negative because I wouldn't actually go that far. It was more when I went out with my drinking buddies that's when it was like, holy smokes, this is, really full on. So it was more explaining to my neighbors when I made the decision, because they thought, this is like, huh, what? Like that guy drinks all of the time. So, and then just sort of explaining little bits of the story, because also, when you're on that first part of the journey, it's pretty raw, and it's not like you don't want to share your whole laundry.
You don't want people interrupting it.
Yeah,
like I'm doing now.
Yeah, but I found that they did respect it, and especially obviously because sharing with my wife when I stopped drinking. That was really a critical moment and a life-changing moment for her, and a massive, just a huge relief, because it was just this cycle that just kept on happening, and I'd just make excuses after excuses, and
that actually brings us back to ground zero, which is the watch.
Yep.
Because if there wasn't a watch in this story, you would still be blackout drinking.
Yeah.
Because you would have been able to hide this from me. So what I would like to say, very good question, George. You've actually hosted this show beautifully. Because I would like to encourage people listening to, there's a couple of things that happened in this story that we shouldn't overlook. Number one, there was a watch in the story. So anyone that says this was completely off base for about effing time, there was a very important watch in this story. But number two...
This is pinnacle about effing time for me. So they're on the wrong channel if they think that.
Yeah, but number two, this was a friend telling another friend something that he couldn't walk back, that he was then accountable to.
Yeah.
And even though the watch was the catalyst for that, what I would like to, when you asked that question, George, about where can you get help? And I've noticed a lot of people in the comments saying, I called a friend today, or I asked a friend for help, or I told a friend I was struggling, and that to me is almost the biggest thing that maybe we could have people take away, which is if you feel that you want to tell someone something like Marcus did to me, you don't have to lose a watch to do it.
No, but also reach out to friends that may need that pat on the back, or the
other way around too.
Just on anything on that. They'll come to come to Jesus moments may happen at whatever the time, but it is one of those things. Your door should be always open for any of these situations and to help. And I think that's what you've just said about AA, and people are talking about NA. They're talking about the Samaritans. They're talking about Al-Anon. They're talking about all these different communities. And there isn't, just so everyone knows, there is not a Tag Heuer Anonymous a meeting. So I'm really sorry. Someone asked if I was in that. I am definitely not in that.
He'll be the founder of that.
But what I would say is all of these doors are open, but leave your door open for a friend or for someone and say, I'm here to help. Because the thing is, when doors shut is when people really go dark and they go deeper
when they feel that there are no doors. It's that and Marcus, if you'd have felt that morning that you couldn't have brought this to me, then I imagine it would be a different outcome.
I was in it at that moment. That was the darkest I've ever experienced in my life. That was really, really dark, and it was almost like like I articulated in the episode, it was a very, very hard moment and just felt horrible, just horrible. So it was fantastic to have a friend. If Andrew Wood hadn't have been there, holy smokes, jeepers, I don't know what I would have done. Yeah. So it was really important. So friends, man, friends,
yeah,
friends and love. So look, Andrew, I know that you're hosting tonight, but I'm pushing on time. It's 1 hour and 8 minutes. I'm sorry to say that to everyone.
I better get the boys to bed.
Andrew, the one thing that we haven't mentioned is our podcast that we will be going a little bit deeper. Marcus is going to come on the podcast, so please do connect into that. There will be a link in something. Adrian's going to do that. The other thing is, this has been really special. All these comments that we have received. I mean, Marcus, the thing is, we want you to have.
We have all read all of them, haven't we? George,
we want you to have a 5-year chip. We want you to, we want you to succeed on this. And every single day is a challenge. So don't ever, anyone. If you are on this journey, we know it is a challenge every single day, and you have to reaffirm that every single day. And that's something I'm saying to you, Marcus, is we are here as a support network to you, but also we want everyone to have that hand on the back. And when we do the meeting, and we will be doing the meeting December, I think it is, or something.
December 13 is firming up. If you wanted to put it, just pencil it in. Don't ink it. But look, we're thinking December 13 in the UK.
I'm putting a pencil on that. But
that'd be so good. Be awesome.
If you contact us on email, there's an email address. Like no matter where you're in the world, like we would love you. Especially if you're someone that's listening to our live stream, you are the people we want to get in a room. We want to feel a live energy of the sort of people that, honestly, I counted the dickheads in the comments, but at 500 comments, there were 4 dickheads.
Yeah.
So we are less than 1% dickhead. And I think that should be a detail, George.
Amazing. Remarkable.
If ever a company asks for stats on our media press stats, 1% dickheads.
And I can remember the comments. There was so few negative ones that I can remember word for word what they said, but I actually hid users from channel because fuck you guys.
I removed one guy. I thought we don't need that kind of stupidity.
But less than 1% dickhead. Yeah. So, and we want you in a room with us. I know that you want to come and see a live show and hang with us. We want that too. We're going to give you plenty of advance warning. It will be around December 13 in the UK. Do what you can. Book your flights. I want a world of people there.
Hey, you know what? Sorry. So one thing. Can I just say one thing? If you have. If the episode did really strike a note, do think about if you know some people that it might be useful for, not so much to get into watches and whatever, but because the watch happened to be the springboard into my story, but it's does people don't need so many people in the comments they were sitting with their wife watching it and their wife hates watching watch stuff, so do send, but just
I included all of us in that. Actually.
Sorry, but if you think it could be helpful to someone, then send it on.
Can we all reiterate that as a final point? Look, if you have anyone that this is an awkward thing to raise with, I don't know. It's just a starting point, I feel that putting it on your platform, you just don't know because I was a high functioning alcoholic. I would consider myself to be a daily drinker for many, many years. And I'm just going to say that's a form of alcoholism no one would have known. There was never any evidence or there was no deterioration in my life, but I just maintained this level for years and years, which is, I think, how a lot of Australians roll, certainly. It's a cultural thing. And if I'd have seen this episode, I think it would have helped me hugely to identify that, okay, maybe it's time because there's a lot of enabling content about alcohol, including us with 4 pillars. We normalized the fact that we had. Let's not forget that.
That was the weirdest thing in season 1. I was days into sober, and then they're going, "Oh, this is delicious."
Exactly, I know.
And I'm like,
but that's where it's not planned. The other thing, so Andrew, Marcus, you will know this. It is about the first day and whatever your day is. There's someone here that says they're 14 years in. Every single day is like, I'm sure.
What does it say on the chip, Marcus? It says this.
Yes,
it says 1 year.
Yeah, this is my 1 year chip. So it's just one day at a time.
One day at a time.
Thine own self be true.
14 years. 14 days, one day at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah. And then you've got the little prayer on the back of the
this was absolutely amazing. The episode was just magical, and it really was totally unplanned. I know that Marcus, you did a bit of planning beforehand, but the way that we were meant to all tell our stories, and then it was like boom. I'm really sorry, there's nothing else. And what I would say is thank you for 4 seasons, the rock star that you've been, the person has pushed us to go the extra mile. You are the person that is behind us in About Effing Time logo. You are that star that pushes us forward. You know, you think about
with no ego, because you don't want to be. You don't want to be out there.
But you think of even down to when you buy something from us, there is a card with Marcus's face on it, and it is with all of our faces on it, and it is a thank you from all of us to you. And that
let me
is
say one more thing, George, and meaningfully, Marcus is 25% of this business.
Yeah.
So this is an even split. Just in case you're wondering, Marcus is, when people are like, Marcus should be equal with you guys. Don't you worry about it.
It always triggers me a bit when people say, "Oh, Marcus should be the fourth man," but no, he is.
Yeah, has been.
He should be. He's
from
always
day
been.
one, I think, George.
But the one thing I will say is, if he was in front of the camera, I would fucking hate the person that's running the board next to me, because normally I'll be sitting in that corner, and I got stressed from that. It was like boom, boom, boom. So honestly, I Marcus, I absolutely love you in front of the camera and what you opened up about, but you bossing us around, I feel a lot safer, because bossing someone
George,
with a
I feel way more comfortable.
Okay, but thank you for doing that and opening up to the community. This is where we talk about this not only being a watch community, it is a community that is centered by watchers, but we really are going into places where we say, actually, this is us being very open about some of our experiences. It won't happen in every season, or unless some major things happen in all of our lives.
It could become a little bit exhausting if it happened every episode.
But
it's just nice that there's space that if it does happen, then that's cool. So I like that. I was almost kind of saying before, I'm like, I feel like that's part of our brand, is that we have we make space for that if necessary, but it's not a forced thing, So yeah.
And I think it's a good question now, like where to after this episode, and how do you back that up? How do I follow that? But I really think we're just going to resume our usual stuff. I think we'll probably throw out a really light one, because it's all about balance in life. But this, as you said so well there, George, like this is every season has these moments that will continue to happen. But if there's anything that's been proven to me, the wisdom of this journey is just that as long as the next day has you three in it, I'm happy.
Yeah,
100%.
On that note, Andrew, you've kind of peace out to everyone.
And by that I mean you two listening and viewing, because I don't just say that to the boys. Obviously, I love these guys and I love what we get to talk about. I love the group that we are. Blah blah blah.
George always brings it round full circle.
Exactly. See you on the next one.
Amazing. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you very much, George.
Love you guys. Bye.